Yeah. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to an exciting episode of Mrs. Z and Fifth. This is the 100th anniversary of the Mrs. Z and Fifth podcast. Let's go.
Yes. Let's go.
We're going to have some fun tonight.
Yes.
This is for the fans.
Thank you for tuning in. Yes.
We're going to let them bombs roll. This is for the fans. We want to thank everybody who've been rocking with us.
Thank you.
Since 2017.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, I'll go even further. I want to thank all of y'all for rocking with me and Zacchaeus back in 2008 when we had Life Zone Radio.
Right. That's right.
Let's go.
Yes.
I'll get big kudos.
Who kudos? And since 2008.
Zacchaeus, talk to the people, man. Talk to the people.
Yes. Me and Fifth. Let me tell you something.
Yep.
Man, let me tell you. If I could go into history with this brother, I could go. We have history.
Mm-hmm.
Starting back with the music. Back in 2006.
We met in 2006. Yeah.
Met in 2006. And we had ideas with music. We collaborated with music. And then in 2008, 2007 going into 2008, we talked about a talk radio show.
Did.
This was way before
the First Amendment show
was popular. The First Amendment show. Our first show was called the First Amendment Show.
First Amendment Show.
This was way before podcasts became popular, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Way before podcasts became popular, we was on the
live
show first.
We was on the Live 365 platform.
Yes.
Which originally was only a song format radio station. But what I did was took matters into my own hands and decided that we were gonna have hour-long programs. And then we got to the point where I said, "Hey, Zacchaeus, we got to do a talk show, man. We got to do it."
And I was like, yeah. And at first I was like, a talk show because remember, we're musical guys. We love creating music.
Yep.
We're all about the music. Excited about music. We were just musical guys. We like writing lyrics, songs. I was with the Caribbean dancehall, reggae, gospel reggae guy. He's a holy hip hop artist.
We formed a group,
and we were just musical.
And then we formed
writing songs.
We formed a group with me and you and our brother Cinema, The Gathering. You know what I'm saying?
The Gathering. We formed a musical group. The Gathering.
Yeah.
Made records. Records.
Yeah.
Singles.
Did an
records.
Album.
An album, and then the
music video.
album.
Music video.
Music video too. Yes. And we was rocking it, man. We were doing shows together. We would perform together. And then he came up with the idea. Fifth came up with the idea of a talk show. And I was like, a talk show?
Yep.
We talk? A talk show? And I was like, what? He said, yeah. Now, this is way before podcasts became popular.
Well, here's the main thing that inspired this, though. Let's tell the people, right? Because it's going to also give credence to why we came back to this for the podcast world, right? The talk show was an idea based off me and your personal talks. And because me and you are like, we think of like Aelites, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, we're both social justice warriors. You know what I'm saying? We care about our people. And we wanted to give the perspective because we saw a lack in black media at the time. And it's still a lack in black media right now. But we saw a lack of black media back in 2008. A show, I talk about this all the time, a show by the name of Black Men Revealed, inspired a concept to touch on certain relationship topics from a man's perspective. That's what encouraged that element of the show. But before that, Al Sharpton had a show on TV One called Sharp Talk, and it was at the barbershop. It was a barbershop show that inspired the forum to discuss certain social issues and stuff like that. Now that's a story I haven't told, but it's a combination of that and Black Men Revealed that gave birth to First Amendment Show. And that same premise, years later, carried on to the Mrs. Z and Fifth podcast. Now, this is my brother in real life.
Yes.
I no longer live in New York. That's the only reason why we have to do it this way. But this is my best friend.
Best friend, likewise, yeah.
And I'm glad that he's been on this journey with me, and I wouldn't want it any other way. And we've been rocking with each other, even if we don't do the show no more. He's still my brother. It don't change a thing. But I'm glad. But I'm glad that amongst many other things we have in common, this right here is what we have in common, and we take it very seriously. And this is why we've been able to do the things that we've done for all these years. So I want to thank everybody for listening and continuing on. And there are big things to come, whether it be from the both of us, or whether it be from Zacchaeus, or whether it be from Fifth, me myself. So we're gonna keep doing this as long as we can. As long as we can.
Yes. I love it. Yeah, we love it. We love talk. You know.
And we're gonna improve the podcast. The only guest we've had is our brother Cinema, but we consider him family. But we will have other guests. We will expand the Mrs. Z and Fifth universe. And we will have more people as the time comes. But the thing is that the one thing me and you can say is that we've ran this podcast based off our talent alone. Okay?
Yes.
And so we never needed like not that I'm against this, but we never needed like a musical guest or a celebrity to give any power to this podcast. Now, that would be dope. Don't get me wrong. I ain't denying people. But what I'm saying is, how many people, some people could say this, but how many people could say that they have had a passion for this, even when the views were low on YouTube, although we do have listeners on iTunes and Spotify, and I want to thank them.
Thank them, yes.
But the YouTube views look bad, but then also keep in mind we didn't do video. It was just strictly audio, and we were putting the audio files on YouTube. But since we've been doing video, we have seen improvement in YouTube. But our streaming we're satisfied with our streaming. We want more. We could do better. But the one thing is that you got to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere.
Yes.
I remember when, back in 2008, when we were doing this, YouTube only allowed you to do 15 minutes of video. You know what I'm saying? 15 minutes.
2008, 15 minutes. Yeah.
And then look where it is now. And let me tell you something.
Yes.
If it wouldn't have been for some things happened with my life where I had to kind of move around and do my thing and be without my equipment. But if we would have never dropped off the airwaves or the internet, that is, then we would have been doing this for over 10 years.
Yeah.
If you add I would say no more than 10, almost 15 years. We would have been doing this for that long. You know what I'm saying?
Years,
if we would have never dropped off, I was a really young man when we met. I was only 19 years old, man. You've seen me grow.
Yes, I did. Yes.
I was 19. I was only 19. So I thank God for our accomplishments.
Yes. Amen.
I thank God for our friendship, our brotherhood, our families.
Yes.
And we're gonna keep this going. Anything else you want to say, Zacchaeus, before we get into the topic?
Man, let me tell you something. It's been a journey to make it to the 100th episode. This is what I want to tell people that are looking to start their own podcasts. The key thing to any business, the key thing to any success, to even just to get to this 100 episodes, is to be consistent.
Yeah.
Be consistent.
Don't give up.
Don't give up. Don't just say that, well, I'm only getting a few views. I'm only getting one views. I'm going to give it up.
Find your niche.
Find your niche. Don't give up. Find your niche. See what you're passionate about and talk about it. See what you're passionate about and talk about it. But once you decide that and that's another thing too. Try to be comfortable.
Yeah.
Try to be comfortable. Find your niche. Be comfortable and be consistent. That's a key thing. Don't let nobody. There's people that will wave you and say that, what you doing that for? Or and this even yourself is a battle with yourself too. Sometimes you say that I don't have the time. I ain't got time. Well, guess what? Years pass by and you still don't have time.
Mm.
Years pass by. There's people that I ran into, some students,
Yeah.
and they were like, "Oh, I want to start a podcast. I want to start a podcast, but I got to get my degree. I want
Nah.
to start a podcast. Well, I want to start a podcast, but I got to get my money up. I want to start a podcast. I want to start a podcast, but I have no time. I'm always at work. If you love it, you make time. Whatever you, I always say this. You find you find your passion, what's most important to you. People do things what's most important to them. And if you, it's just like music. If you have a passion for it, you'll find a way. If you have a passion for podcasts, you'll find a way. You'll find a way because if you're passionate about it, you'll start. If you're not passionate about it, if you have different goals in mind, but you're not really passionate about it, you'll never start. If you have excuses, you'll never start. The key thing is to start and to be consistent. Enough said. That's what I say about it. Yes. So thank you. Thank you for tuning in to us. Thank you for listening to us. Thank you for keeping us encouraged. Thank you for tuning into our content. Thank you for loving our content. And we're gonna continue this journey. We love it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
We're gonna start off. We're gonna start off with this, our topic. And I'll start it with this audio. Let's go. Oops, sorry. Technical difficulty. Let's start it off right here.
Sometimes the breakup is actually the blessing. You have to remember the reason you broke up. You break up because something ain't going right. You got to free yourself.
That was Steve Harvey. I'll play it again for those who may have missed it.
Sometimes the breakup is actually the blessing. You have to remember the reason you broke up. You break up because something ain't going right. You got to free yourself.
Now, Zacchaeus, you had an idea for tonight. You said,
yes.
You was like, I want to talk about why relationships end.
Yes.
Pre-marriage or after marriage, right?
Yes.
Relationship to marriage. What happens? Why do people break up? Why do people divorce? We'll start with just the breakup. Non-marriage. Any agreements or disagreements you have with what Steve Harvey said in that clip?
I 100% agree with Steve Harvey. Let me unpack that. I 100% agree. Yeah. It's always a reason why people break up. Mm-hmm. It's always a reason why. People just don't break up for just to break up.
Yeah.
It's always got to be a reason. Even if it's even if it's not so serious, it's always a breakup because you could be in a relationship with somebody and you there's an attraction, because the first thing we see when we see a woman, we get attracted to her, and maybe she's attracted to us, and then you getting to know her, and then she getting to know you. But as time goes on, sometimes you wind up there's a silence. And the reason why I say there's a silence because sometimes people can be attracted to each other, but there's no chemistry.
Yeah.
There's no chemistry. And the reason why there's no chemistry because it's a thing called uncompatible. Right. Now the chemistry thing is where now you're passionate about something, you have a and you're in something. Let's say for example, let me use this as an example. Let's say you're going to college or you're trying to pursue a career, maybe in nursing, right? But yet you were a girl, you met her at a party, but she's not into nursing, she's not into the school thing too much. She's a waitress, but she's more into like, I guess, like being a fashion designer. But you're passionate about it. You're passionate about that. You're passionate about the nursing, but she's passionate about being a fashion designer. But when you two get together, it's almost like a mismatch because she's talking about partying, but you're talking about settling down.
Yeah.
You're talking about maybe taking you to the next future, but she's focused on the here and now. And then when you get together, it's always like a confusion. So therefore, relationships like that sometimes they say opposites attract, but sometimes with relationships like that sometimes don't last long because it's an unbalance in the compatibility. Or sometimes you can meet somebody and you're going, she's going left, you're going right. So when Steve Harvey says that there's a reason why you break up, it don't have to be because two people are cheating.
Mm-hmm.
It can be because there's a reason behind the breakup because you two are just not made. You just not made. It's a mismatch. You thought you could have worked it out. The attraction is there. I guess as far as like, I guess the physical attraction is there, but that's not all to it. That's not everything to the puzzle when it comes to having a good relationship. The physical attraction. The physical attraction has to be there, but that's not. It doesn't conclude everything because we would just have the physical attraction and you just have physical attraction and you two just don't get along. And what Steve Harvey said is a reason behind the breakup. There's always a reason behind the breakup. It's never like, well, we get along so well. If we have a chemistry, so I'm just gonna break up with her. There's always a reason behind the breakup. So 100% agree with my brother Steve Harvey. Yes.
I'm gonna throw you the mic again. So
yeah,
you mentioned a lack of compatibility, right?
yeah.
You mentioned like goals and stuff like that, right?
Yes, yes.
I would also well let me hold on to that. Let me just kind of ask you another question.
Yeah.
How far does mutual attraction get you in a relationship?
You know what? Mutual attraction.
It has a
It doesn't. It don't get. It doesn't get you so far. You know why?
Right.
Because I'm gonna just let this ring loud and clear.
Right.
Because when the sex is over, you still gotta live. When the sex is over, what do you have after that?
Nothing.
What? Okay. What do you have after?
Yeah.
When the love making, the holding hand, the kissing each other, the making out. What else do you have in common? What else do you have that's concrete that you can say that? Well, Dad, we have this chemistry that is a. Can you two hold a conversation for a long period of time? I mean, like a great conversations because let me tell you something. Conversations is what builds a lot of relationships too. Even if you don't even see each other, it's just like a communication on that phone. That's how me and my wife built before this internet phase, before this online dating phase came. Before this, it was like a and even if you're distant from her, let's say she's away in school and you're here, you two can build on the phone because the chemistry. Well, I mentioned chemistry, but the conversations and the communications and the collaborations and the conversations are great. You two have great conversations. You just have a lot to share. You have a whole lot to share with each other, and that's what builds it too. Because when you share with each other, you have so much to share with each other. It's not just a physical attraction. Now you two enjoy each other's company and you enjoy talking to each other. That's where it's at.
Now,
yeah.
I got more. I'm going to give you the mic again.
Yes.
So, physical attraction will get you in the door, basically.
Yes. Yes, it will. Yes.
But it can't sustain you long term.
No.
Because this is what we know. If you base everything off attraction, God forbid somebody has a cut on their face, a car accident, God forbid, you gain weight, whatever it is, or you have some type of physical things that now you can't even engage in the same behavior you was engaging in before. Now, most of that is, all of that, Zacchaeus, is lust based. Because if it's just sex, then what's the point of being in a relationship? That's not a relationship. That's just a sexual situationship that a lot of people in this world have reduced themselves to, is only being capable of, right?
Yes.
Communication. So, you know how the Bible talks about being equally yoked, right? And we'll get further into that.
Yes.
Yes. So would you say that communication is a key ingredient to a relationship once you get past maybe a few dates? Like, there should be communication leading up to but so communication should be the tell sign of where we're going. Question, what should they be communicating to start a relationship?
I think they should be communicating about, like, listen, for example, what do you like?
Yeah.
What's your favorite? I'm talking about simple things. What do you like? What's your favorite color? What do you like to do on your spare time? What excites you? What's your goals for the future? Do you now where to get now the main this is like one of the main ingredients, part of the getting to know each other. Now, where do you see us going from here? That's like maybe that's like the several dates.
That's at a certain stage, yeah. That is
certain stage. Where do you see it? Yeah, certain stage.
Where do you see us in a couple weeks? Where do you see? Yeah,
where do you see us?
Where do you see yourself? This is what I want to say, and I'll give it back to you. I want to add this as a point. You want to ask each other, where do you see yourself? Okay, where do you see yourself with me? Because now it's like where that person fits.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
Continue, go on.
Yes, so, like, what do you like to do for fun? Simple stuff like that, because the reason why I say these things, because sometimes you ask a person, like, what does he like to do? What does he like to do for fun? I don't know. I just know she look good. Shorty look good, Shorty look good. Or you ask her, like, what does he like to do for fun? I don't know. I just know that he works a lot and everything. Communication is key. Now, getting to know and that's really getting to know somebody. Getting to know somebody. Getting to know what the desires are, what their passions are, what they like to do for fun. These are things that sometimes you within the conversation get to know that person. This is after the attractions phase. Because even you're still attracted to that person, no matter what, you're still attracted to that person. What do you like to, you get into, like, what do you like to watch? What movies do you like? What, and these are simple conversations. What movies do you like?
Let me kind of add it.
Yeah.
So, young couples, basically, I guess we're talking.
Young couples. Whatever, right? Yes. Young couples.
So,
yes.
Now, obviously, the vetting process is to know exactly what you're getting into. And, you have to take a person's word for it. You're not going to always know if they're telling the truth, whatever. We know that relationships are when you're dealing with another person, it's always going to be a risk, right? So
always, yes.
So
yes.
How about two people who have the mindset of settling down and get it to a point where they want to start a family? Because favorite color, all that's really not that important. It's a cliche question. That's fine, but that's not going to determine how good of a potential wife you could be, or mother you could be, or husband or father, right? For the ladies who want
to be.
So what question should intentional people ask when they're approaching dating and relationship?
I think well, the reason why I mentioned the little stuff, because I know sometimes women get into like, well, he doesn't even know my favorite color. He doesn't really know me. And years ago,
Yeah, no, we understand.
years ago,
we understand
you know,
that. Yeah,
yeah, and,
we understand
and little
that.
stuff.
But I'm gonna tell you something, Zacchaeus. You're
Yeah.
hearing women saying that they're tired of that question now.
Okay.
You start. Well, let me give better context. You're hearing women saying they're getting tired of only that line of questioning, and the fact that they have to dig so hard to get something out of a man as far as how serious he wants to be. So for two intentional people who get past all that favorite color, favorite thing you like to eat, and favorite TV show, what should they be asking each other?
I think the main this is okay. I know it's getting too deep. I think the main thing you should be asking each other is, what is your intentions with me?
Yeah. Okay.
Or what's your intentions with me? What do you want to get out of this? What's your intentions with me? You just want to be platonic friends, or you want to, or you want friends with benefits, or do you want, or do you want to eventually have a serious relationship and eventually and take it to the next level, which is engagement, then marriage? Where do you want to? What are you looking for? That's the main question. What are you looking for? What are you looking for within this relationship? And that's the main question that a lot of young people, they just don't, they date each other, but they don't ask.
Yeah.
Especially even after a year, 2 years, 3 years, they don't ask. Yeah. They don't ask. They just go ahead and date each other, go ahead and going on with a date with each other, but they don't ask the serious questions because they're living off of assumptions. And listen, we're living in an era where most people are on their phones, most people are on gadgets, and most people are, to find their mates, they're online dating. They're online dating to find their mates. That's okay, but when young people get together, so not everybody's into the online dating. I thought not everybody. So when you're meeting this person, you shouldn't be, when you're talking to this person, you shouldn't just, when you talk to her, you jump right back on your phone.
Yeah.
Talk to her, jump right back on your phone. She talk to you, jump right back on your phone. Your eyes back on your phone.
Your attention is elsewhere.
It should be an undivided attention, because you're getting to know her, especially if you want to build a long-term relationship with her, and you want to grow with this person. You want to, because remember, the attraction is one aspect to a successful relationship. It's just one aspect. It's not the whole spectrum. The whole spectrum, you want to get to know her. You want to get to sit down with her, see if y'all have great chemistry together. What I mean by great chemistry, can y'all converse for hours? Can y'all talk? Can y'all enjoy each other's company? That's without even spending expense. And this is really big.
Yeah.
Now, when I started dating my wife, sometimes you don't have to spend a lot of money.
Right.
And you can enjoy each other's company by taking a walk in a park, going to the gym together, maybe going to a diner, a simple diner, sitting down, getting a cup of coffee or some tea, sipping on some tea with a little biscuit in your hand, and just getting to know each other, just enjoying each other's company. You don't have to be spending $300 a plate, $400 a plate. It don't have to go that way. Just the simple fact that you're in my presence, that we have and the phones are away. The phones are not really out. The phones are, you're not even looking at your phone so much. But you just enjoy each other's company. That's the main thing. That's important. Is it just a attraction? But it's also it's also not just the attraction, but it's also like, do we enjoy each other's company? And that's the thing. Well, that's the thing,
And these are things that are in the beginning, right? We haven't necessarily gotten to the point of why they end in challenges. We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. Yeah, yes,
so
yes.
Here's the thing. obviously, in the beginning, you have to know if this person even sees. If you're someone, we're talking about intentional people, right? These are the ones that we're actually going to give respect and props to. You know, you want to. If anybody wants to hear about casual sex, go to another show. This ain't what we're talking about right now. Here's the thing: intentional, right? Dating with a purpose. What does dating with a purpose mean? That means there's a goal. Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it better be marriage, right? Otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have to know if that is a goal that both of you people share. If you are meeting someone and you want to get straight to the point, especially if you're 30 and up. I'm 35, so this is my mindset. I ain't got time to be playing games. Okay, I ain't got it. There's a lot of things I will not put up with anymore. I'm telling you, I have a short tolerance for a lot of things right now, especially as I'm getting older and being in my mid-30s. The slightest sign of disrespect that I see, that's it. It's over. I'm moving on because I don't need that. You know how people say I could do bad all by myself.
Yes. Yes.
We need to stop saying the words "do bad." You could do good all by yourself in the sense that you don't want to just be with somebody just for the sake of not being alone. So you accept being in a toxic relationship. And usually that's from an insecurity or something going on in your heart that you haven't necessarily been healed with, and you're using it as a coping mechanism to fill a void. And that's what a lot of people do, sadly, in the dating world. And one of the things that people need to understand is be upfront with what you want with your questions. Being intentional is also being intentional with your line of question. Do you want marriage? How many children do you want? Where do you want to live? Do you want to? If he or she doesn't already have a home, do you want to be a homeowner? How do you feel about creating generational wealth for your children and stuff like that? Businesses, all of the type of stuff. I'm not saying you always got to know up front what somebody makes. No, because that's not for that. That's really for marriage, because protection and provision is for marriage. Notice that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah.
But what? Okay, so there's that, right? Being equally yoked. It really is important. You gotta have your spiritual things in common. Really do. Your spiritual life got to be in common. Y'all both believe in God, Jesus. How does that work out? You know what I'm saying? What faith? What faith? You know what I mean? It got to align. Because these things matter. Especially
these things matter. Yeah.
Especially when you want to bring kids in the world, because the last thing you want to do is bring kids in confusion. That confusion can cause chaos for them mentally.
Yes.
That could wear on the kids, because kids don't choose to be born. They just come here, and then now you have to guide them, and then they have to navigate through life and figure out what life actually is. Go ahead, Zacchaeus. You have something to say.
I wanted to say it's a lot of that infatuation. The term called infatuation. Infatuation meaning that some people are afraid to be alone. There's some people that have to have someone in their life. They live for it every day. If they're single, they have to have somebody. I've met people that literally get depressed because they haven't found the one. There's people that made this year. There's people that made New Year's resolution to find somebody this year in 2023. They said my New Year's resolution is in 2023 to find somebody. To have that. And I heard a woman say, I want a man underneath my tree. I need to have somebody I'm about to hold in my arm. Let's first be happy within ourselves. Let's first be happy and learn how to enjoy ourselves. And then you can have some. And then you don't have to be that person that you meet. You don't have to validate your happiness.
Yeah.
You're happy because you're happy within. You're satisfied with yourself and you're happy within. Let's learn to be happy within ourselves. And as far as meeting that one that you can grow with, that's good. That takes time, but it takes time because to meet that somebody that you can align with, and because you don't want to be in a rush to meet somebody, and then you find out that they're a different denomination. You're like, huh? Or a different religion. And you're like, oh, I thought this like I thought this Muslim girl was cute. Oh man, she is so cute, man. Look at that smile on her face. Ooh, yo, if I like that, she got a nice smile on her face, man. And then y'all wind up talking, and then y'all talking now. And she's nice, and you talking, she's talking. This is for the brothers. You talking. You're like, oh man, and then all of a sudden now you're like, and then she asks you, well, are you a Muslim? And you're like, you like her though, you like her smile, and then you're like, nah, I'm a Christian. You what? You're Christian?
Yeah.
She said, oh, but I'm a Muslim.
Yeah. That's not gonna work.
Brothers, it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
The Bible talks about an equal yoke. Don't do it.
My opinion, that's not gonna work. Now, many people have forced that. So I think another reason why, and I'm gonna kind of shift the question this way. So do you think a lot of breakups happen because they've forced things after they overlook some red flags? What do you think? What do you think the results are when you take matters into your own hands and force a relationship? What do you think what happens there?
There's a lot of confusion.
Yep.
The confusion turns into arguments.
Yep.
The confusion turns into family. Because remember, when you get with somebody and you start dating, then you get serious with them, you meet their family. So so the family tells her or him or her that that's not the one for you, because and you're forcing it because you're forcing it because you really want to be with her despite the odds. You see, sometimes the things that we ignore turn around and bite us in the behind.
Yeah.
The things that we ignore turn around and bite us in the behind because we want to be with the person so bad. You know that person is not the one for you. You sense it, you feel it, but you're forcing your hand because you're trying to force something, and she knows it's not working out. You know it's not working out, or vice versa, ladies. You know it's not working out with that man, but you're forcing it. You know that you two don't really get along. You know you two basically are unequally yoked because she wants to go left. She has a different direction in her life she wants to go. You want to go in another direction you want to go. And you're trying to force your two worlds inside your two worlds. You can't seem to see that bring your two worlds together to make it be compatible, but you're trying to force the two worlds together and you realize it's not working because she wants to put, let's say for example, she wants to move to Chicago. You want to go to Texas. Now, she has all her family is in Chicago. But you want to stay in Texas. And you're forcing it. And people do have long distance relationships, but in reality, with the long distance relationships, they don't work because a person, remember, we're people where we have emotions, and emotions go with when you two see each other. Compared to, you don't really get to know somebody when you're so distance away. You don't really get to know them. You have to come to a what you call it. You have to come to a crossroad and find out, like, well, if she wants to stay in Chicago, and I want to stay in Texas, and then you realize it's not going to work, but you're forcing it. And you know it's not going to work because you're not budging to say, well, I'm going to move down to I'm going to move to Texas. She's not budging to say that, well, I'm going to move to Chicago and I'm going to be with you. And you're not budging to say, well, I'm going to leave Texas and move to Chicago. You both are not budging, but you're forcing it.
Well, it's
not going to work.
Now, that would be a disagreement. How can two people walk together when they have a disagreement so impactful or something like that in a relationship? That stunts the growth, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I kind of want to go this way, right? You have anything more to say on that? You got another thing to say on that before I go to the next question?
Yeah. Also, I think I have another example. Perfect example. I have it.
Okay.
A DJ.
Yeah.
DJ. A woman. Now, she don't understand the plight of a DJ. You're dating her, but she doesn't understand that a DJ gotta go out for a living to do parties, weddings,
travel,
and sometimes he has to travel. But you, as a woman, you want a more settling life. You want a more like your man to be home, work his 9 to 5, come home. He works his 9 to 5, and then he comes home. But his desire and his passion is playing music, doing weddings, and he makes a little money doing that. He does parties and he does weddings, and he's a DJ. Now, you don't agree with that lifestyle. You're dating him, and you're looking to get married, but you don't agree with that lifestyle. You don't agree with it one bit. You say that, oh, he's gonna meet other women. You're assuming, this is for the ladies though. You're assuming that he's gonna meet other women. You're assuming that he's gonna he's not gonna be home. He's busy DJing all wee hours in the morning. He's not coming home to me because I want to have a simple life. I want to settle down, have a simple life, and I can't see myself settling down with a DJ. But he fights you and say, well, this is me. This is my passion. You got to accept me for who I am. But yet you're forcing the relationship. You're forcing it because she doesn't understand the life of a DJ. She don't understand that passion you have. She don't understand that passion you have, but yet you're forcing it. Ladies and gentlemen, if it's always going to be a conflict. It's always going to be war if you're not willing to compromise. If she can't she can't tell you that, honey, I support you. I love you and I support your dreams and desires, or he can't come to the compromise and say, well, I can be home some nights. I gotta do this DJ stuff. I love being a DJ, and I've seen in the past conflicts like that in the past. So that's what I want to bring up. And that's what makes people break up too. Is when they have two different desires, two different goals, two different desires. That's what makes people say, you know what, I can't be with you because obviously you're not giving up this DJ thing. Or let's say, for example, a man in sports that travels, a football player that travels, and he plays in the NFL. He's always out. She wants, no, let me remind you, this woman wants a lifestyle. She wants the luxury. She wants the glamour, but she doesn't understand that your man gonna have to be out for like a few months to make you live that lifestyle. Your man he's in the NFL. He's traveling from city to city, playing in the NFL, and he doesn't. But you give him 4 years to give it up. But guess what? He loves playing football. He loves the game. He loves the game. He loves the game.
Well, a great example of that is Tom Brady and Giselle. I mean,
oh yes,
yes. He allegedly promised that he was going to finally retire. Then he got
right.
Then he started playing again, and she divorced him. And her claim is, well, he didn't spend time. He was losing time with the kids. I don't think she just divorced him because of the kids. I think it's deeper than that. But that's a whole other conversation. I'm gonna play something to kind of help us what we're talking about. Okay.
Okay. Cool. Mm-hmm.
When someone is saying they can't be with
you, try this again. wasn't prepared. Here we go.
When someone is exiting a relationship, when someone is saying they can't be with you, you have to be really honest with yourself and say, okay, they're telling me that they can't be with me because whatever reason, but they're telling me how much they love me and how they truly want to be with me, but I'm the love of their life. But you have to ask yourself, if I was them and I loved me the way they say they do, what would I be doing right now? What sacrifice would I be willing to make? What compromise would I be willing to make? And if they're not making that, then you have to say they either don't love me as much as they're saying they do, or we have completely different standards for how much we're willing to fight for each other. Either one is bad.
Now, in that clip, my man looked like he was getting emotional, and the woman that he was talking to, she started blinking real fast, and her eyes looked watery. So I think what he talked about hit home for both of them. There's some valid points there. You know, why would someone end a relationship but then say all these things, right? And then he talked about compromise. That was what I wanted to get to. I didn't think he was going to say that in this clip. Shout outs to whoever that is. I think a lot of times it's the compromise. Okay, so men and women, when they get in a relationship, right, understand that you're coming into a situation where you are dealing with another person that you both have different you were raised differently, different upbringings, potentially, could be different financial situations you come from. One may come from wealth, the others may come from humble beginnings. So a certain appreciation for things may be valued or not valued, depending on it too. Then there's certain ideals. A woman has her ideal man in her head. A man will have his ideal woman in his mind, as far as who he wants to be his wife and mother, and who she would want to be father of her children, husband. Men and women approach dating very differently. There are requirements that women have. There are requirements that men have. Women have a list. Men have a list. Women have to decide out of this list what it is they could deal with or deal without, because no man is going to check all them boxes. Fellas, same thing. No woman is going to check all them boxes of your list. Coming into a relationship and not having in your head that you're going to have to make a compromise, healthy compromise that is, you're coming into it with your basically handicapped, because a relationship, before we even get to the marriage, you have to be selfless. That has to be shown coming in. You have to think beside yourself. It's not all just about you. One of the red flags you need to that men and women need to look for is when somebody comes as an individual with only the intention that they're coming into this seeing is that what they can get out of it and not what they can give. Okay? And I think that's a reason why you see a lot of things break up, because they would say, oh, well, he wouldn't do what he wouldn't do what I expected, or he would say, well, she didn't do what I expected. So then you have these expectations. But did you communicate that? Because I feel when you communicate key things that you need or want or whatever it is, then you can get to the compromise part. You don't know what the compromise if you don't discuss what it is. And there's going to be a compromise. There's going to be a moment where you're not going to get what you want. How do you deal with conflict? That's the test of your maturity. It's how you act when the situation arrives. Zacchaeus, speak to that.
You know, when you first get married, or you first enter a relationship, a serious relationship, and you first get married, now you got to think about this next. Now you got to think about the other person. It's hard to do, especially when you've been all your life you've been just
By yourself.
focusing by yourself.
Right.
Focus on yourself.
Right.
So now, as time goes on, you gotta think about that the other person that you're with. You gotta consider her feelings, vice versa, and you gotta consider her like, well, what I do can affect her. Whatever you do when you're married, whatever you do can affect your partner. Or when you're dating somebody and you're serious with that person, it could affect whatever decision you do could affect that other person. So this is why people break up, because if you only you have a self-centered mentality, a self-centered mentality will always get you broken up, no matter who you get with. It would always break you up in a relationship if you always have that self-centered mentality. But when you're a person that learn how to compromise and meet your partner halfway and know how to negotiate and know how to talk things out and compromise, so you could both come to a rational manner, the relationship could last.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have this is what makes people break up.
So
when you make decisions, deep decisions, and you don't consider your partner. When you make decisions and you don't consider, well, how does she feel if I did this? For example, you two have a joint account, banking account, savings account, checking account.
In a marriage, you mean?
In a marriage.
Okay,
in a marriage.
Just want to make sure we say that. Go ahead.
Yeah, let's make sure, because only
married people. Thank you. Go ahead.
Have joint accounts.
Yeah, should.
And
yeah, only married should. You're not anyway.
Should
go ahead.
should.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You should. Yeah. And you decide to take money out without considering her in the joint checking account.
Mm-hmm.
How you think she's gonna react to that? And you decided that you're gonna gamble on the Super Bowl, for example,
Jesus.
or the NBA playoff, for example, and you took that money out because you want to bet on the game, but you have bills to pay. How you think she's gonna react to that?
Or caveat, or she goes on a spending spree.
Yes.
Using the joint account money.
Yes.
Not her money. Because you have marriages where there's the husband account, the wife account, and then there's the
joint account.
A joint account that is separate from the two, that takes care of all of the bare necessities.
Yes.
Go ahead. I just wanted to add that because.
So when you don't consider consider your partner, this is where arguments come.
Resentment,
bickering, confusion.
Yeah.
Because you did not consider her feelings. This is the respect.
And a lack of trust.
Lack of trust.
Yeah.
So now that's out the door.
Yeah.
So when people say, well, the reason people like to bring this up when it comes to breaking up, well, I didn't cheat on her. It's not just cheating that makes people break up.
Yeah.
Not just cheating that makes people break up.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just cheating or infidelity or cheating
I would argue that some couples, and I'll get to that, when cheating does happen, that a lot of them will stay for that, forgive that, but what they won't forgive is a money problem. How about that?
Yeah. Well, money is a big factor.
That's
a
lot of divorces.
Yeah,
we'll get to that.
You can.
A lot of divorces are because of money.
Yeah, and you can sneak out on somebody, but you mess with that money situation. You can't, and she can't pay those bills, or vice versa, he can't pay them bills.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's more worse than the cheating itself.
Right. That's how.
Yes, worse than cheating.
Right. That's how it will be viewed in some relationships. Yes. Go ahead.
Now, Now that's that aspect of it.
Yeah.
But there's many reasons why people do break up. Let me tell you one. One of them I'm going to one.
Yeah.
For example, a pastor married to his wife.
Mm-hmm.
Some pastors, not all pastors, some preachers put their ministry before their home.
And that's scripturally wrong.
Yes. They put their ministry before their home, and the wife feels neglected. She doesn't feel that, well, he doesn't give me no attention because all his time is spent on the ministry. He never spends no time with me. He doesn't even know how I'm feeling today. He didn't even ask. Scripturally, that's wrong. That's what makes people break up. That's what makes pastors get divorced. Well, you do stuff like that. There's many reasons why people get divorced, or let's say you're dating somebody, why they break up. It's another thing why people break up. This is the biggest one. She doesn't bring peace to my life. Or he doesn't bring peace. He brings drama to me.
Brother, take your time on this one. Unpack that. That's important.
That's important. The peace. I don't have peace with him. Or she doesn't, she says that I don't have peace with him. Or he says that he don't have peace with me. Or vice versa. They don't have peace. Let me unpack that. There's people that every little thing you do, they like to, there's called a fussy spirit, fussy, argumentative spirit. That everything
strife
that you do, it causes an argument. Every decision that you say, okay, you bring up the decision, you respect it, and you say, I want to do this, and I'm thinking about doing this, it blows up into an argument. Or what makes people break up? Well, let's say you're dating somebody and they have kids. He has a kid, right? Or he has one or two kids with a baby mother. And every time you go out with him, the baby mother's arguing. And she tends to argue with you. So now drama is always, every time you're around him, most of the time when you're around him, drama is always brought to, because he's in the drama with his baby mother, now the drama is brought to you. And you got to say to yourself, and this is what you have to question yourself, ladies. Do I value my peace? Or what do I value the most? Do I value my peace? Or do I value him more than myself? What's important? My peace? Compromising my peace? Or compromising just to please him? Just so I can say I'm with him? Or just to say that we're together? Because every time we get together, it can never be like a moment of just relaxing. It's always got to be a fuss and an argument. Now, there's people right now as we speak that's going through this right now, as we speak. And you got to ask yourself, how much do I value my peace? How much do I value it? And a lot of people people like to talk about having a good relationship, having a great relationship, but they don't talk about the peace factor. Why? Because they're more caught up in being with somebody, being with somebody. And some people are afraid to be alone. So what they do is they compromise their peace.
Yeah.
Or what they do in order to be with that person is that they put themselves last. There's people that put themselves last to be with somebody. They're not happy. They're not internally they're not happy. Mm-hmm. But just to appease, be in a relationship, to appease that person that they with, they compromise their happiness. They compromise themselves. They give up their passions. There's people that give up their passions. There's people that give up their desires just to appease the person that they're with. And that, my friend, is a recipe for disaster, because you're going to live with resentment if you're hit a certain age. There's people that hit 40 years old, 50 years old, that are with somebody, and they give up their dreams and they give up their desires because she said it's just not for me. She said, my dreams and desires, forgive that up. I'm too old to do it. I'm too old. You compromise your, for example, there's people that gave up simple thing. Now, fifth, I heard this story. Here it is. Guy had a desire to do a podcast show. His wife says, why are you going to do that? Are you getting any money out of it? Or why are you going to do that? Why are you doing that? Why you get, that's silly. Why you do that stuff? He says, and he looks at her and he says, I always wanted to do that. And then she turns it down and says, I don't know why you keep doing that. Look. And then she compares him to somebody else. There's people in a relationship that will compare you to somebody else. Oh, well, look what he's doing. So-and-so he's studying to become an attorney, or he's studying to become an accountant. And look what you're doing. You're just jumping on a podcast. There's people that you're in a relationship with that will put down your desires and your dreams. They will put it down in a heartbeat. They will just.
I want to speak to that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, So here's the thing. In a marriage now, this is where this is going to really matter here, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing something, husband or wife, if you're doing something that takes you away from quality time with your wife, or if you have kids, quality time with your children, and it is now affecting how you are as a husband or wife or as a parent, then in that situation, you have to come to a decision. But if it's not doing any of that, and it's not hurting the family, it's not hurting you.
No, it's not. No.
Then I don't see what the issue is. I think sometimes there's look. One of the things that people need to understand is there's leadership, and then there's a type of guidance and healthy control with leadership, but then there's an unhealthy part of control, and that is you can't do it. When somebody says, "Oh, well, you can't do that," and then they can't explain why, it's more about them than it is about you. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
because
yes.
You should be able to explain why. If my wife wants to, I'm not married, but you are, sir. But I'm not married, but I'm just as an example. If my wife says, "Hey, I want to buy a motorcycle." Now, if you know what I know, motorcycles can be fun, but at the same time dangerous. I'm going to tell my wife, and if my future wife is out there listening to this podcast, I'm going to tell my wife no. But guess what? I could tell her why. How many people could do that? Okay?
Yes.
If it's not taking time, resources, or security away from your family, then it shouldn't be a problem. So there has to be so when somebody says this in a marriage, the why is the context that they need to provide. Some things need to be unpacked That is one of them.
Yes.
You can't just say no.
Yes.
Now, some things are self-explanatory.
Mhm.
You know, if my wife says she
Mhm.
wants to be a stripper, oh heck no. You don't need to unpack that.
No,
No.
that's
You
certain
know?
things. Yeah. Certain things you can not. You can unpack that. You can say some certain things that has a big why.
Right.
That why I don't
Right.
want you. For example, like you gave a perfect example, like riding a motorcycle.
Mm-hmm.
It's very dangerous.
It's dangerous.
It could be very dangerous. There's people I know that lost their lives, that
Yeah.
are married, that lost their lives, who lost their spouses off of motorcycles.
They have.
I know two people personally that died from motorcycle accidents. Two people, two young men,
Yeah.
not even 50 yet,
Yeah.
that died from motorcycle accidents.
Yeah.
Literally died from motorcycle accidents.
Yeah.
So that's a reason why. That's a good
Yeah.
reason why that I think that you should not do it. Or this is a big one. A rapper.
Okay.
Music.
Well, once
Music.
again, that fits into that. If it's not hurting the family,
Right.
and there's still, I'm gonna tell you where this becomes a problem. And I'll give you the mic back because I wanted to kind of cut in and say this. Now that's in the dream category, right? Whatever it is, that's in the dream category. As men, this is one big thing about us men is that we're visionaries. There are things that we see ahead of time. I think God is really, really kind of built us that way for us to be visionaries. We see ourselves a certain way, but then we also have faith and hope that what we do is going to succeed, right? So we're going to try what we do. Here's where the responsibility kicks in. Well, like I said before, if it doesn't hurt the situation of the family, right? If that dream was a dream before you met that woman, then if that was something that was discussed, if she still marries you, she can't complain later on. Here's where I think the complaint is justified. We supposed to pay the mortgage, but I done spent half of that on studio time. She can complain then.
She can complain that. Yeah.
That's valid.
Yes.
That's valid, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So
yes.
that's where that would be expected. That would be warranted, and there would be no really big argument about it because it compromised our living if I did something like that. Now, if it's something that doesn't do it, and I'm still able to do this, and then all the needs are met, and everything's being done, I don't see the problem. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know,
right.
And at the end, listen, a person has to outgrow what it is that they feel is not working for them. They have to outgrow that. You don't do that. You don't force that. If they decide to kind of put it to the side and say, you know what? Yeah, that's my dream, but you know what? I'm going to focus on something else. You know what I mean? I won't necessarily focus on this full time anymore. I'll part-time it now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, in that, but you got to let that person outgrow that.
Yes.
Now, if that, like I said, something that was discussed early. Now, if we're talking about something that in the marriage had came up, we already done been married for a couple of years, right? If it's now to the point where mentally it's driving a wedge between me and my wife or something like that, then maybe I didn't take enough time thinking about what it is that I wanted to do before I started it. And Zacchaeus, you mentioned making a life decision. Now, that's not necessarily it's not a life-changing decision, but it does alter some of what you would do as far as occupying some time of yours. Now a time that you wasn't spending on this, now you're spending on it, right? So, but here comes the compromise, though, because you're free to have a dream. You are. And then I'm going to ask you something. Finally, I'm long-winded. Are men more accepting of a woman following her dreams, or is a woman more acceptable of a man following his in terms of support? What do you think?
I think a man is more. I guess it depends on the person, but I think a man is more acceptable on a woman following her dreams.
Okay.
And but there's a lot of butts in between. They got some women that are supportive too of their men, big time. I've seen it.
Yep.
But I also think that because of it depends on what it is too. It depends on what dreams that you're desiring that makes a person supportive of you.
Yeah.
Because I know like everything creative that I did, my wife supported me 100%.
Yeah.
And it didn't really took away from the family.
No.
It didn't really take away from the family. Now there's some people now. Maybe I should. Maybe it's another idea that I have white people break up. But
yeah, go ahead. We're hour
you know
in.
what? Okay,
we're hour and 10 minutes in. Go ahead. We're going overtime.
Okay,
we're going overtime. Go ahead. This is the 100th episode.
Okay, I have one thing that makes people break up.
What's up?
Insecurities.
Okay, unpack that. And I got something to say about that too.
Have you ever? This is a question. You can leave a comment. Leave a comment. Ladies and gentlemen, have you dating somebody and they're always checking your phone? They're always thinking that you're cheating on them, or they can't, or they have to be in your presence because if they feel that you're away from them, they feel that you're doing something that you're not supposed to be doing. It's because you're away from them, or they're just assuming that you're doing something with somebody else when you're not in their presence. Insecurities can cause somebody to break up a relationship. Insecurities can break up a relationship, and it's happened where you're dating somebody.
Give examples.
For example, you're dating a woman, and you're on the phone talking to your sister.
Okay.
Before you could even say that, well, that's my sister. Right. She grabs the phone from your hand and asks,
"Who is this?
Who is this?" And you say, "But it's my sister,
my family." Yeah.
And you're like, "No," and then before you even grab it back from her hand, she asks, "Well, hello, who's this?" "Well, I'm so sister. I'm just talking to Henry. Can you, my brother? Yeah. Can we bring the conversation?" She was like, "Oh. So even your sister noticed that. What kind of relationship you're in that she got to be grabbing the phone from you and asking who this is?" Now, insecurities can, even with men too. That's just. You have to call her. You have to call her 7 times a day to find out where she is, and
wow. Yeah,
and the vice versa. Woman, she gotta call you 7 times a day to find out where you are, and then she is assuming because you're doing a little business venture that you're cheating, or when you're with her, you could be walking. And then she hits you in the head. Man, this is for the men. She hits you in the head quickly. I seen you looking at her. Oh, no. You was not even looking at that girl. But she hits you in the head, and she assumes that you've been looking at that girl, walking with there. You know, she always accusing you of looking at somebody, but you're not. You're like, I'm just talking to you. I see you looking at her big booty walking over there. And you're like, oh. You're like, why are you... What?
Yeah.
We're just having a conversation, and you assuming I'm looking at her? I'm talking to you right now.
Yeah.
He said, "No, I seen you looking at her. No, I see. No. And she throws a towel. She throws the towel down on her food. She said, "I lost my appetite. You've been looking at that girl. Let's go home." He's like, "What? You will break up with a sister quick for that, or a woman quick for that. You listen. That will drive you crazy." That thing right there, that insecurities would drive you crazy. That's what makes people break up too. Insecurities.
I'm expand on insecurities because they come from something. So certain insecurities come from experiences, bad experiences, because there ain't nothing good about insecurities. You said a woman always calling you every 10 seconds, 10 minutes, whatever, right? Always thinking you're looking at other women, always thinking you're up to something, right? So that is a lack of trust. And that is also an excuse for wanting control. The only person you can control in a relationship and a marriage is yourself. Amen. Relationships work with consensual compliance. There's usually non-negotiables that you two discuss, and there's guidelines that come from those non-negotiables once you agree to have a relationship heading into a marriage. And as long as you stay within those guidelines, there should be no conflict, right?
Right.
And a man should lead that, because a man every man should have a plan, even if he's not married. Every man should have a plan for his life. If he wants marriage, then he has to alter his plan to make sure that a wife fits in it, and he has to get the type of wife that actually fits his plan. Okay? Because we are the ones who propose. So we have to go out there and get a wife, as whereas women have to basically wait for a husband, right? Make themselves seen, yes, but they don't chase a husband. Man has to make that happen. We are last name changes. So that insecurity that you mentioned was a lack of trust. You know why? Because it could have been from when she a former relationship. She probably had an ex who cheated. Now I'm gonna tell you something about me. I once was with a woman, and she had a man. The last guy before I met her. She was in a relationship with a guy. He cheated on her more than once. She broke up with him the second time. And that goes back to my do I stay or do I go premise when I said some will stay even when somebody cheats, because they forgave him and moved on. So she brought it up. I didn't ask. She brought it up. She brought it up as a means to tell me, this is what I went through, so you don't put me through that, because I can't take going through that with another guy. I gave her my word. That wasn't enough. There was a revenge that she wanted to take it out on him, but instead, she took it out on me. I say that to say this. A lot of these insecurities are from when you have a past hurt, whether it been from a relationship or your upbringing. Maybe your mother left or your father left, right? They will bring that into a relationship. The relationship they use it as a void filler. So they really didn't want you, but they got a satisfaction from feeling wanted. And that was enough for them to have a relationship. That is not dating with intention. Because if you're intentional, then you have to heal, or at least be in the process of healing from that such thing, so that insecurity doesn't become a cloud over your life when going forward and seeking the next person.
Yep.
So there is definitely some weight to why pounds of weight that could contribute to the ending of a relationship because of that. A man will not have no peace in that situation. No different from if a man had a traumatic situation where, say, his mother abandoned him. So now he has like an abandonment issue. This is serious.
Yeah.
This happens to a lot of men. Everybody talk about the dad leaving, but nobody talks about the mom leaving. This happened.
Yes.
And so now he doesn't trust women like he should. He wasn't shown that. he seeks the nourishment that he wish he had from his mother in a woman.
Yeah, man.
That happens.
Yeah.
No different from the woman who lost her father. And a lot of women, unfortunately, in our community, don't have their dads. So they seek the attributes of the father they may have had or wish they had into the man that they want. And when that man doesn't fulfill that expectation that they have unfairly in their mind, how that works out, they will blame the man that they're with and put him through hell. He didn't ask for that, but these are things that happen.
Yes.
When a person doesn't deal with their pain, they take it out on everyone.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, man. Yeah,
Their relationships and their friends.
your friends.
Unfortunately.
Yes.
So the thing is, there's a time for love, but there's also a time to heal.
Yes.
And you must heal first before you become ready to love.
That's right.
Zacchaeus, you want to expand on that? And I'm going to play a video. Well, I'm going to play the audio of it. Go ahead.
You gotta it's a time for everything, man. And when it comes to embracing love and embracing each other and embracing and compromising, learning how to work together. Those are the factors that keep people together. Learning to work together and be each other's cheerleaders. Enough said.
Hey. If your biggest supporter should be your mate.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
We have our parents and everything, and our friends. Thank God for that, right? For those who do have both.
Yes.
But your mate should be your biggest supporter. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's gonna come down to you and that person. I'm gonna play this video. We touched on something very good. I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna play. Well, they won't be able to see it, but they'll hear the audio.
Men love idealistically, women love opportunistically. I understand the fact that as a man, a woman loves you for what you bring to the table. You know what I'm saying? Your money, your income, your status, your confidence, your ambition, your cleverness. There's a whole bunch of different things that women look for in a man before they can actually love and submit and want to be with him. But for men, it's like, we love women for real because we don't have as many requirements of them.
You love women for real? That's what you said?
Yeah, men love women idealistically. This is why breakups hurt men way more. This is why men commit suicide way more when it comes to suicide.
So what do you break down what idealistically means?
As in it's the closest. Obviously no love is unconditional, but it's the closest to it. Like when a man loves a woman, he loves her far harder than she loves him back, so to speak. This is why women overwhelmingly initiate divorce and breakups, etc., and why guys have such a tough time getting over it. Because when a man loves a woman, he loves her for real. When a woman loves a man, she loves him.
I think the stat here is that
how he makes her feel. Men love.
Now there was a lot of points there. Let's try to chop it up a bit. So he talked about things that a man will take a position of when he's in love with his woman, and things that a woman will take a position of when she's in love with her man. We have talked on this. We touched on many topics about things similar to this. I just want to get your opinion here. I'll ask you a question. What do you think he means when he broke it down. Let me kind of say it better this way. women have a requirement that comes from their nature, right? We have requirements that come from our nature. One of the main things a woman wants, and it's really for her survival, and is provision and protection. Provision and protection, like I said, is for wives only. A man wants honor and respect. This is the balance. I think men really, besides the looks, right? I'm not talking about the looks at this moment.
Mm-hmm.
Those things sometimes don't always communicate well, but they are a balance. A man falls in love differently than when a woman falls in love.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard men fall in love with their eyes, women fall in love with their ears. If a man sees a woman's appreciation, sees her attentive, nurturing nature,
Mm-hmm.
women want to feel love. They want to feel protected. They want to know that they're provided for. These are things they have to know. He mentioned this as a reason to say, if a man doesn't have those conditions that a woman wants, because he said unconditional, now he doesn't believe that no relationship has unconditional love. What do you think happens on the female side when those two conditions of provision and protection are not there? First question. Second question. Respect and honor. Honor in that is also submission. I'll put that in there too. But I'll just say honor, because when you honor someone, like that's pretty good. You honor what it is that they do for you and what they have, right? What do you think? How do you think a man responds when he doesn't get respect or and honor? First, start with the female, the woman with the if she doesn't get provision or protection.
Well, I know this, that women want to embraces security in all spectrum, all aspects. They embrace security with financial security. They embrace emotional security, meaning that they want to know that the man that they're with is not going to cheat on them. They want to know that the man that they're with, when it comes to financial security, can also make a home for them, so they can feel comfortable.
Yeah.
So, because women really embraces security in many aspects, quite a few aspects, and those are the aspects. The main aspects I mentioned is foundation, which is the home, and where they can feel comfortable, and also financial aspect. They embrace those aspects. Men, now going into the men now, we know that we have to, in order to hold a woman, we know that we want to make her feel protected.
Mm-hmm.
And our egos,
Mm-hmm.
because remember, men are big on egos.
Yep.
When it comes to respect, we want to know that we're with somebody that respects us, that will listen to us. Now, don't get me wrong. Women love to be listened. Women love to be listened to. Women want to. That's another part of security too. Women, they love it when their men listen to them. That's big for them. But also, a man, when he speaks, wants to be respected, wants to be. And I mean, because remember, we have big egos, and when a woman crushes that ego, like let's say, for example, now, she wants to break up. She wants to get a divorce because of the simple fact that we cannot provide financially, or she's looking at your pockets, or she wants to break up with you because she feels that she's insecure, so she feels that you're cheating, or she feels that you're not the man that she wants to really be with, which really crushes our ego. It crushes our ego. So therefore, when men love, we really love hard. We love hard. Not to say that women don't love hard too, but it's different. We're coming at it from different angles. Now, when a man said he's gonna marry you and he loves you, he really is gonna do it.
Yeah.
He's gonna love you.
Yep.
He's gonna marry you, and it takes a lot for a man to do that.
It does.
To say I love you, yeah, and I'm gonna marry you, because in other words, you're coming out of your shell, and you're gonna do that. Now, women, when it comes to embracing that, like embracing he said he's gonna propose to me and marry me, they get very emotional too. Very emotional off for that. I'm gonna settle down with you, and they want to feel secured with that. They want to feel secure. There's a sense of when a man tells a woman that he's gonna marry her, now she feels a sense of security. Like, well, this is gonna be my future husband, and I'm gonna settle down with him. Now, when a woman crushes that, going back to like divorce, when a woman or breaking up, and a woman says that I don't want to be with you no more, so and so, and you're fighting to be with her, but yet she says that she don't want to be with you, that hurts our ego. It's bigger than money itself. It hurts our ego, crushes it. And like I agree with the guy. I agree with the guy that he on the audio when he says it crushes your whole world.
Yeah.
It crushes your world.
Yeah.
It just messes you up. Mentally messes you up.
He's talking about an intentional man.
Yeah. Yes.
I know some people in the audience will say, man, that's cap. No, he's talking about an intentional man.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna add something to it. I'm gonna give the mic back to you, okay?
Yeah.
And then we're gonna get towards closing the episode out. But here's the thing. So he mentioned that. Now, separation is a real thing, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You don't put so much time, investment, anything you could think of, right? And this is something that should be valued. Now, we don't want, we want a healthy relationship to lead to marriage, right? Of course. And we want a healthy marriage to continue, right? For life, right? But what if it does happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
What does a person do after this happens? So let's talk about the breakup first. What does a person do after? And then second part of that, get into what someone would do in a marriage after, because they could be two different. They could have two different extremes as far as how a person would act, because marriage is something that was intentionally to be a life decision, and a relationship was supposed to lead to the marriage, which is a life decision. So, what do you think happens afterwards, man?
It depends on what the breakup is about. Some people break up because of abuse, mental abuse, or whether it's physical or mental abuse. Yeah. Some people break up over that, and sometimes the person is mentally sick. They don't even know that they was abusing that person. And that's what makes people break up too. The abuse, physical, mental abuse. Also, what makes now when it comes to boyfriend and girlfriend breaking up, it could be a especially if you've been dating for a long time.
Yeah, like
and you had this
relationship. Yeah.
Yes, and you had desires of being with this person forever for a long time. It's a healing process. Some people don't get over it for a while, or what some people do, which is wrong, is they call it what's it called, a rebound dating, or they date
rebound.
somebody else
Yeah,
right away.
Yeah, rebound. Yeah,
Rebound dating. They date somebody else to cover up their hurt and their pain. So what they do is they get with somebody else right away to say, I moved on, but they're really hurting inside because the impact of the breakup really hurt them. So they move on with somebody else, which I think is a wrong thing to do. Never break up with somebody and then jump into another relationship,
yeah.
because deep down inside you never really close that healing chapter. That healing process was never really closed.
Right.
So you wind up jumping into another relationship, but yet you didn't heal from that last relationship that you was with. So never jump into a relationship right away with somebody else and you didn't really get a chance to heal. That's a wrong thing to do.
I'm gonna throw a monkey wrench at you real quick. I don't want to throw you off. You mentioned rebound.
Yeah.
In your opinion, well, I have an opinion, but you could answer it with yours.
Yeah.
I think women rebound differently than men when hurt over a relationship.
Yeah.
Men oftentimes will rebound in more of a sexcapade way.
Yes.
I'm gonna just knock down as many women as I can to get my mind off of the hurt, right? As when a woman wants a rebound to get over the emotion part.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just for sex. Although women have, there are women out there who've done just a sexual rebound, but I think women actually want that. They do like mock relationship rebounds. I think they're more known for that. Because I've heard a woman once say on that show, Jane the Virgin, Jane's the woman's mother, she gonna say the best way to get over a man is to get under another one. Now, now that was said by a person that I knew, well, associate, and she said that before I heard that on the show. I just mentioned the show from a popular standpoint.
Yeah.
As well, a man will say, "Yo, I'm gonna get over this just by smashing a chick."
Right.
What do you say to that?
I mean, people, it's a wrong thing. It's a wrong angle to take. I'm gonna get with a girl because I know some men that there's men that do that. They want to they break up with a woman and all of a sudden now they're like a sex goddess. So they're having sex with different women. They're throwing themselves on different women. They see them holding hands with different women, and it messes you up mentally. Because you cares that you're giving your body to different people all the time and you're not even giving your chance to. Sometimes we need a process of healing. And then we don't take a time to process of heal. It just blocks your vision because you're like, wait a minute, I'm sleeping with this girl, I'm sleeping with that girl, all because I broke up with but I'm really deep down inside, I really need a healing. I really need to separate. I really need time to heal. But yet but they have women that's emotional. They cry on their girlfriend's shoulders, or sometimes they may be jumping into another relationship, dating another guy right away. There's very few women that do that. But I say this: always give yourself a chance to build yourself up. Build yourself up. Get to now that you've broken up. Now, try to enjoy you. Try to enjoy you. Try to did the things that you didn't get a chance to do. Why you was with her? Enjoy yourself for a little bit. Enjoy. Don't jump into a relationship right away. No, don't do that.
Yeah.
Have a me time. A me time to heal. A me time it's a learning process. A time to grow. A time to maybe get into a hobby that you put off because you've been going on dates, spending a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Or for men that's probably divorced, give all these things that you desire to do now maybe you're getting it. Maybe God is telling you this is something that you can do now because now you're not in you're not in a relationship right now, and you're now divorced now. So now he's giving you a second chance to jump into an opportunity that you thought about doing, but couldn't do. You didn't do it when you was with her, but now you're gonna do it because you're not with her no more. So now you have an opportunity to do it. So all these things these things I mentioned is to take into consideration that it's a healing process in breaking up. So yeah.
Now let's go to the marriage. What would you say for a marriage? Someone, let's say 20 plus years, children, and then divorce.
Wow.
And then divorce happens. That's a different feeling, man.
Oh my gosh, that right there. That's a disaster because sometimes I can say it's a disaster because now you got kids involved.
Yeah.
You got your kids involved, and not only you're emotional, they're emotional too.
Yeah. Because they don't understand. Because they don't
understand why mommy and daddy's breaking up.
Right. They don't understand why.
It's that right there is a pain. I would really, with that, a relationship like that, I really would consider maybe counseling.
Yeah.
Especially if it's not no cheating involved, there's infidelity involved.
Yeah, regardless of what it is, you're definitely gonna need. Because a breakup is like mourning a death, right? And that's just in a relationship. A marriage,
yes.
I mean, you're mourning an even more fatal. It's like you're mourning a death, especially in a marriage. 20 years, as an example.
Yeah, because you have
you got to grieve now. The healing.
Yes,
you have to grieve that separation. That's part of the healing process. Go ahead.
You have a lot invested with that person. You have the years invested.
Right.
You have children. You have property invested. You have a lot invested with that person, especially the time. The time is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
20 years. And I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. After 20 years of marriage and you broke up with your wife or vice versa, this is how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get to know nobody else no more.
Yeah.
I want to be alone.
Some take that approach till death, actually.
Yeah, I don't want to get to know somebody all over again.
Yeah.
Let me be by myself. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because number one, I need time to heal.
Yep.
And number two, you're gonna have to work out, especially if your kids are small, or you're gonna have to work out the visitation rights.
Right.
You're gonna have to work out a lot of things, and then you're going through a divorce, and you have to get a lawyer, attorney. It's a lot into it. When people get divorced, you lose money. Men, it's about $3,500, even more than that when you have kids. It's even more than that. You lose money. Some people become bankrupt and broke when you go through a divorce.
Yeah.
Because you're losing assets. Not only using assets, but you're mentally and emotionally drained. So you don't even know if you're coming or going. You're drained. And then you're emotionally attached to your kids. The worst thing a man could feel, one of the worst things a man could feel is his wife moving on, and then he's watching that in front of his eyes. That, oh, you're moving on with somebody else. Or she just don't want me, she doesn't desire me no more. Or vice versa, he don't desire me no more. After 20 years, is the worst feeling that you can have. One of the worst feelings you can have. But there's people that fell out of love. There's people that desire not to be with each other after 20 years. I don't understand how you can do that. You've been with each other. Where the hell? I used to always say this. Where the hell are you going? After 20 years, you might as well just stay with that person. Y'all made it this far. But anyway, y'all made it this far. y'all might as well just stay with each other. Y'all made it this far. So come on. But anyway, people do what they do. But it's a healing process. It's a long healing process, and that's what I could say about that. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, that's trying to think what else I could add. So there's a lot of key things to that, right? So definitely got to heal from that. Now, the kids thing, like you said, when they're small, you still see that person. It's a lot easier, or if you have to, it's still not easy, but it's easier when you separate from someone and then you don't have to see them again. You have certain marriages where the marriage ended and they never had kids. So they're not going to have anything to do with each other. When you have kids, you still have something to do with that person. Sometimes you never even heal correctly.
Yeah.
Because you still, I guess until the child is 18, you still see your divorcee. You know what I'm saying?
Divorce,
You still see that person.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So how do you handle that? And if you're paying alimony, it's a constant reminder. This can also create a fear and being married again. But you have people who've looked at marriage from the outside, divorce from the outside, and they say, well, you know what? I don't want to get married. I don't ever want to get married because I don't want to experience what they did. What do you say to people who have those fears? Fears of marrying, fears of remarrying, and fears of marrying in general because of what they've seen?
I say, let God lead you the way. If He wants you to marry that person, and you meet that person that you connected with, and you have and you enjoy this person's company, I say, and God is kind of tugging at your heart to say, this is the one that I have for you. That by all means, but if you are meeting women or women meeting men, or you meeting them, but God is not tugging at your heart, I say still stay single, because after you don't want to, because remember, everybody's different.
Mm-hmm.
So you get with somebody else brand new, you gotta learn somebody brand new.
You do. Starting fresh,
brand new,
all over, fresh start.
Starting fresh, start.
That's hard for a lot of people though, starting over. Some marriages don't. Check this out. Some marriages don't end because the person doesn't want to start over. I'm talking about an unhealthy one. So I remember watching. I think it was an episode of one of the. I think it was Divorce Court. It was one of them shows, right? And this man was unhappy. He was very unhappy in his marriage. She filed for divorce. She was unhappy according to the claim that she made. But then she also admitted that, hey, just stay married to me. I don't want to start over. And she started crying.
Wow.
But it was disingenuous, because her whole thing was, come back to me because I don't want to start over. Not come back to me and I'll change my ways and we could both get help and really become one and remain as one. It was because she just didn't want to start over. It was convenient.
Right.
So that was still out of her selfishness.
Mm-hmm.
And here, this man, he just wanted to be free from the situation, because the man done tried whatever he could, and if she said it was over, it's over. He don't want to deal with this no more. You know what I'm saying? He want to move on with his life. He loves he loved the woman, but don't just say, oh, well, just let's just stay together because it's convenient, because I don't want to start over, and that's gonna lead me to this point. And then we'll end with this last thing. There's a lot of people that do that off and on stuff. Okay? Now, I think a lot of another reason why relationships end and marriages is because they have hit. Well, this is going to be relationships and not the marriage, because this shouldn't be happening in the marriage, but it happens. Let's just say unmarried. They have this make up the breakup situation all the time, right? Or we're together, we're not together. We're together, we're not together. Or we're on a break, or we're not on a break anymore.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
To me, a breakup is a breakup. That on a break stuff is some manipulation crap. Get the heck out of here with that. Okay?
Yes.
I say no to all of those. You know what I'm saying? Heck out of here.
Yes.
I was a simp at one point in my life where I accepted that long time ago. Man, I'll never do that again. I compromise my morals and my principles for that. And that's what you should never do. But I think that's what happens in a relationship that's off and on. You're compromising your morals and your principles to be with this one because it's not working out. You've hit a wall. You know, if you got to keep constantly breaking up with someone, getting back together, that means there's no growth. Once you came back the second time and there's been no change since that separation, whatever how long it was, y'all were broken up, y'all got back together, y'all want to try it again?
Yes.
You hit a wall. There's no growth, right? But you come back to each other because there's a benefit. And typically, those benefits are to fulfill your sexual pleasures, your needs and wants that come from insecurities, and you're trying to fulfill something to mentally keep you stable when really it's unstable.
Yes.
You know? What do you say about those that have that off and on situation, man?
That cheapens the relationship.
Yeah.
And I say the reason why I say it cheapens the relationship because it's not taken serious.
Right.
And you're gonna keep breaking up and then come back together again, breaking up and coming together again, breaking up and coming together again, and it just makes the relationship look weak. There's no foundation to the relationship because you know that you're gonna get back together again. Once you break up, you get back together again.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here when it comes with those kind of relationships, it's not good because you're giving each other mixed messages.
Yep.
Because it's like, okay, I'm with you, and then you do something, and then she does something wrong. All of a sudden, then we break up, and I'm not with you. Those never work because eventually you wind up just breaking up anyway because you realize that person is not for you. You realize, or she's not for you, or he's not for you, and you realize that you was forced. And that's how it was forced.
Yeah, you're forced.
And therefore, you know you're not right for each other.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But
you know you're not right for each other. Yeah.
Right. I'm gonna help you out more. I think the person that always ends it and always wants to come back has ulterior motives. And that is, hey, I tried to, I'll give an example. Men and women, we'll it doesn't matter the gender, right? Say you did something that ended the relationship that was toxic. Then now you try to play the field, and everybody else is turning you down. You know why? Because your fault is showing. So then what you do is you say, you know what? I'm out here by myself. I don't want to be by myself. I'll get back with so-and-so because they put up with my crap and no one else will. That happens too. That happens too.
Yes.
You know? Because, they gaslight you with that. Oh, you'll never find another one like me. Yeah, you got that right. I don't want to. I want something different.
Yes.
But I also think there's a lot of fear. I think a lot of men and women, because that's the starting over part, right? Now you got to experience another person. It requires you to do some self-reflection. I think people who do that off and on stuff multiple times, because I feel like if it didn't work the second time, it ain't going to work the third time. Right? It also speaks to a lack of maturity. Because if you are not who you was before, then that person no longer should have a place in your life because they've been taking away your peace. So a lot of times it's a distraction to keep you from the very thing that you could be having and experiencing. A lot of times a toxic person will come back into your life so that nobody else can have you.
Yes, it's true. Facts. Yes, it's true. They'll make their way back in. Yes. Yes, just because they don't want to see you happy. Misery like company. They don't want to see. They don't want to see you happy. They want to see you in misery. Yeah, so they'll come back into your life, especially if you're dating somebody. They'll bozy you on because she knows she got it. She'll come right into your life. Yes.
Well, they're hoping you don't have someone. So what they do is they like to test the temperature, and they'll do little like narcissistic, type of sociopath type of things to kind of reel you in. They'll use. I mean, they could use lifestyle as a tool. They could use sex as a tool. More likely, sex as a tool. Especially if you had that kind of relationship where y'all was having a whole bunch of sex. So then now she calling you up talking about, hey, big head, and she dropping, eggplant emojis and the peach and all that type of stuff because she trying to get your attention because she horny.
Right.
And she know you're gonna give it to her. So you was just sex that night, and here you are being manipulated, and you thinking, oh, she want me back. It's not you who she wants. She wants the benefits. That's benefits, what it is.
Yes.
And you came back because you're gonna put up with her garbage. What do you say to that, Zacchaeus?
Well, there's this old saying, a Joe Jamaican saying that goes, monkey no schlimp for climb pun, meaning that if she knows that she can get away with things with you, and she knows that she can manipulate you and get away with things with you, she can. Same goes for the women. If he knows that he can get away with things with you and know that he can manipulate you and nobody's going to put up with his nonsense, but you're going to put up with it, he's going to come right back to you. Or vice versa, she'll come right back to you. Because you put up with a lot of nonsense that she dish out. So now she knows that, oh well, I might as well just go back to you, interrupt your whole life again. You thought you was scotchy, but she interrupted your whole life again. You thought you was walking scotch free. You thought you was like, now I can finally have a little peace of mind. Nope, she wants it. She's knocking on your door, begging. Knocking on the door. You can't date nobody else. She's back knocking on your door. And she's saying that now she wants to be with you in his heart. It's funny. It's funny when you see that. It's crazy. Oh man.
Yeah. Well, hey man, this has been a great episode, man.
Oh yes. I'm glad people enjoyed it. Yes, man.
Yeah. We're gonna end it here. I'm trying to think. Any closing statements you have? You can talk about anything. You can talk about the show. You can talk about the topic. Or you can talk about the 100th episode. You can say anything.
Oh yes, people. I thank you for tuning into our show. We love coming to you with some material that you can possibly learn from. We love talking about different topics, and we thank you for tuning in to our 100th episode anniversary. We have a 100th episode anniversary, and we thank you for tuning into our show. Me and Fifth, we're grateful for having you, and continue to listen to us, support us. If you like this content, smash the like button, subscribe, and if you like us on Facebook too as well, just hit that like button, thumb the button of this video up. Check out our clips on Facebook, Instagram. Just check us out. We're coming to you, Mr. Z and Fifth.
That's what I'm
nonstop. This is our 100th episode.
Yes,
100 episodes.
This
we serious. We serious.
This is for the fans, yo.
It's for the fans. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
This is for the fans.
Yeah.
My last words here, hey, just to kind of echo what you said. Appreciate everyone for rocking with us. The 100th episode and to many more. All right. Last, I gotta say on the subject. Know what you want. Know what you want. If you could take the same amount of time and energy that it takes to consider what it is to, let's say, purchase a home. You've worked hard for it. You've done the research. neighborhood, schools, whatever. That same energy, multiply that same intention when choosing a mate, because that's more important than owning a home.
Hello.
Choosing a mate is one of the most important decisions you will make for your life, because choosing a mate is a choice and a privilege. Marriage. It's not something that's owed to you. It's not something that you deserve. You don't deserve anything for free. You have to work for it. You earn.
That's right.
You earn marriage. That's something you earn. Men and women. Don't get it twisted. All right?
Yes.
The person is not the prize. The marriage is the prize itself. What it is that happens from that point on. Right? I'll give a last example. You have a basketball team. Some players may be more talented than others. You may think the superstar is the prize. It may feel like it. Right?
Right.
This one's good. This one's really good. They're going to help us get to the promised land, right? That team has this in common. They want that championship. That's the actual prize. That's the reward. Okay? Between two people, men and women, he's not the prize, she's not the prize. But there's a prize that you do want. And you can get that together. Prize is the marriage. And the reward is God's favor. Because that's what he says scripturally. All right. Zacchaeus, let everyone know where they can reach you, my brother.
You can reach me on Instagram at Zacchaeus Music on Instagram. Wayne Bacchus on Instagram, to Wayne Bacchus Gospel on Instagram. Also on Facebook, Wayne Bacchus 167 on Facebook, Twitter at Wayne Bacchus 2 on Twitter, TikTok, Wayne Zacchaeus Bacchus. Thank you. Hit me up, y'all.
All right. Y'all can get at me at The Fifth General, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Subscribe, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and all podcast platforms. Subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to the Mr. Z and Fifth podcast, as it's spelled.
That's right.
This was another episode of Mr. Z and Fifth. We'll see y'all next time.
Next time.
Peace.
Peace.